What is up? What is up, y'all? We are on day 21. I always want to fumble this bag a lot. So I ended up adding something new to like the setup when we do end up studying. So my fault if I can't really see the chat right now. I gotta go and open it on here. And or yeah, I think I'm opening up on here, watch something on the TV just in case, just a little bit. My bad for taking a minute for getting on live, but I was just trying to set a bunch of things up. But now we are here. Now we are going to be grinding, and we today are starting module 3 for hardware. Now, like I said, I already had took, a quiz that was kind of making me believe that it is time to eventually move on from hardware, but I just want to make sure by finishing, at least everything me and ChatGPT were going through. And and I'm not going to, like, if I see something there that I know, that I'm not going to obviously look into it. But if it's something that I don't know, then we can end up getting into that. And I think that's going to be amazing. What is up, some? So I do really quick want to look at what I need to get into. How are you, son? What are you doing? For a second, I thought you texted. You wrote help. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no, what do I do? Real quick, I do have an image here. Damn, I don't know what's been going on with my voice lately, but it just keeps like disappearing on me. So I think we already talked about how for the note taking things, we're gonna learn about the BIOS overview, which we were doing. So I gotta find that website. That just reminded me of something. And then we need to see a little bit about the compatibility, and then we can literally move on from module 3 like that, so that shouldn't take that long. um oh, for a second I was like, wait, I'm not even in module 3, but no. And then module 4, module 5, and then 6 isn't really nothing, so module 4 and 5, that should relatively go quick as well. So eventually we're going to be moving on to software rather quickly, but let me go and open in my history. So what is up, Mars? Hey, nothing much. Honestly, a lot of things that I've been doing these last couple of days. I was been really focusing on merch. So I'm trying to find this website. So don't you do some show stream or something? It's always work study. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I feel like in my head, it's always like if I try to relax, I feel like I'm wasting time. So in my head, I just try to. I think I bookmarked it. Did I? Oh yes, I did. Woof, I was taking too long looking for this. But in my head, it's like if I'm just not studying, if I'm not working, if I'm not doing something, it's hard for me to just relax and chill. One of these days, though, I do have to give y'all a little chill stream, but it's tough. I mean, my type of chill stream is kind of like today, where I'm not really learning nothing too crazy, so I'm not taking too deep of notes. But for me, it's just like if I give myself one break, I feel like I'm gonna not continue. If that makes sense, we got to get into it. But let me show y'all my new little live stream screen. So as y'all can see, I don't know what it looks like yet. I have to see it when it happens on my phone. But we have a little bit of a section here that shows my hand now, so that y'all can see when I'm taking notes, when I'm writing. So I think we wrote the BIOS availability, and oh, if we wrote that, then we are in the wrong spot here. So we got the BIOS availability. I don't feel like I wrote all this. Did I really? Oh, I did write Linux and stuff. Okay, okay. But we gotta get to the type. Oh, I don't like the way where it's positioned. Sorry. I do not like that. Oh, I'm moving the wrong thing. What the hell? Stop it. Because it's kind of like popping out a little bit, right? Where the hell is my camera? I think it's this one. Oh no, it's the video capture one. Kind of maybe. Oh, there we go. I think that looks better. Okay. Sorry, it looks crazy. Said already have life. I mean, said already life have no meaning and logic. You said what? You said already life have no meaning and logic. Oh yeah. I mean, I guess it depends. It depends on the way you look on life. But I don't know why. I don't know why I'm so like stuck on, just feeling like I need to learn, learn, learn. But well, the thing is though, is that it's kind of like learn, learn, learn on stream though. I think it's hard for me to do a show stream because if when I'm streaming, that's normally the only time I get to study. Like I can't study outside of stream. So that's why for me, it's kind of like if I don't study on stream, then I'm kind of wasting my time because then I'm not studying at all. Because I just don't have time outside of this, you know? And that's why in my head it's like, might as well during these moments just document it on YouTube. Because if I decided to just study completely off of stream, like I'm like, okay, let me not do that, then there would just be no streaming. Like I would never stream because I just don't have no time for it. I just choose to stream when I'm studying because I started thinking about how, how kind of cool it is to really document, your entire journey on live or your entire journey for a YouTube channel. And I think that really just motivates me in the fact of, not everybody does this. And like I've honestly been trying to find YouTubers who do it like this, who kind of document their journey and of learning something, but not too much people do it, especially in the way that I want to see it. So it's hard. But then that kind of tells you a little bit that, it's kind of like a new idea. Not many people document almost, every single day of what they're doing. What exactly am I taking a note of? I'm taking a note of legacy bio. So I gotta copy this. Not every YouTuber does that, and the people who do it, it's scripted. They're just trying to get content, trying to get views, and it's like, no, like I'm legitimately trying to make a life for myself with this. So I don't know. It's hard to find people who you could try to like not compete with, but kind of feed off of, because if you see people who are in your space who are kind of doing like studying streams and they're updating you with, what they're doing in their life and what they're studying for, it would be a little bit more easier for me to kind of have a little bit more of a game plan. But I feel like I'm honestly one of the first people to really be doing it this way. Where the hell is my sharpener? Oh, I think I might have put it in my backpack. But I'm really one of the first people to be doing it this way, where it's kind of, I'm literally documenting everything. So I can't really like compare to others, or there's no one who's doing it my way and they're doing it better. And I would have loved to find someone who was doing it my way and who's doing it better so that I could kind of be like, okay, I see how they're doing it. Let me try to replicate my content a little bit. Not copy, but just at least have a path of where to go with it. But, unfortunately, there's not too many people who do it this way. Or there are like study YouTubers, but they don't really care to document anything. Like I just know that there's this one dude that comes on. I love his camera quality. That's why I need to get a better camera. I'm thinking about it for Christmas. Um I was thinking like he has such a good camera quality, but his streams are about him studying to be a doctor, or he is a doctor, but he's just studying more doctoral stuff. And even though he doesn't talk about it or, really show anything that he's studying, he gets a lot of views. And I'm just like, that, but that's just not the type of content I would want to do. And he doesn't even talk when he studies. Like, it's just straight up him doing it. You don't get to know him at all or even know anything. But people love that content. And, half of them, I sit there and I think they're probably not even studying themselves. I think they legitimately just watched the video. And I'm like, there's no way. But that's why I'm trying to do mine's like a mix of things. Like I want mine's to be a study stream, but I really do want it to be where you guys can connect with me, kind of know what I'm studying as you guys could see it on the camera. And just a bunch of different things like that. So I gotta get me some good cameras, like 2 new cameras that are gonna be expensive as hell, but I might as well at this point. I think that would be super dope. And then, pretty much all week, or I love how I said all week. I wish I had a week off. But my yesterday, I was really focused on making a bunch of merch, and I finally ordered a sample, which I'm documenting for like a vlog, which honestly I didn't even mean for the vlog to only be about my merch. It was honestly supposed to be a vlog of my day. But so far, 17 minutes worth of video that I gotta edit soon. It's straight up me doing like customizing my merch and kind of talking about it and stuff like that. But yeah, so in the video, y'all could get a little bit of a sneak peek of it. The merch site isn't going to be up until I obviously finish, you know, like a couple of the designs. And I also want to see the quality. Like, I don't want to put up, a hoodie and then the hoodie is, the quality of the hoodie is trash and then the printing is bad. It's like, I don't want to do that to y'all because they were charging way too damn much, especially for the delivery fee. I was like, damn, I see why people sit there and, they decide to do it all themselves because they take way too much money. And I'm like, I'm literally buying samples. Like, I wasn't even purchasing it as a purchaser. Like, I can if my sample was like that and you kind of get it like for a percentage off. I can imagine the people who actually buy it and but it comes down to picking quality because apparently you can't like obviously you can't drop the price down below what the shirt actually cost to make. So then it's like you really would have to sit there and make people pay hella money if you want them to have hella quality shirts. But it's like it's crazy. I don't know why they do it like that. But that's why in my head I was kind of thinking of using the brand or the merch. Like obviously you guys could purchase stuff. It's gonna have web dev stuff. It's gonna have IT support stuff or studying slogans, right? It's gonna have things like that. Obviously I'm gonna start it a little bit shorter. Like I don't want to go too crazy with some of them because I don't know if y'all are gonna like the designs or not. If you guys do want to buy some, but my main plan is to kind of make it, but make the clothing brand for people in my real life. And I'm thinking like that's where it's gonna be, you know, because I work with hundreds of thousands of people. Okay, well that's crazy. Why that was that's not true. I meant to say I work with thousands of people, 1,000 people mainly, and I know a lot of them would love to know where I get my stuff from, and then I have siblings who could pass that on to other people that they know at their jobs and stuff like that. And I don't even got to put those shirts like available to everybody. I can literally make it only available like for where I see it, and then just buy a couple samples and then sell them to people in my real life. And I'm like, that's gonna be pretty dope. And I think I probably would make more business doing it that way rather than doing it, online and stuff like that. But definitely, if y'all have any ideas, like for some merch ideas that y'all would like want to actually buy, and there's many products. It could we put stuff on mugs, we could put it on a laptop case, we could put it on a pillow, we can make a mouse pad, which is what I was gonna do. I was gonna make a couple mouse pads for you guys for web dev and IT support. And there's so much more. So like if y'all ever had an idea, probably anything that you could think of, beanies, hoodies, t-shirts, it could have a design on it. So it's gonna be super dope to finally get there. But I already have a couple of ideas. I already have a hoodie I'm about to make for my brother, and then I already ordered a hoodie for myself. Um, yeah, and but first I want to see how the fabric is for my brother before I make him make the purchase because it's expensive. It's like $50. I'm like, this is the only hoodie I could do. Technically it's like $50, but if y'all ordered it online for yourself, I think it will come out to it like comes out to $40, but then the shipping fee is $8. So it's like it's insane. I'm like they're ripping people off. And you could pick a different hoodie, like I said, but the fabric is just bad, so it really depends. But that's why I think the best thing to do if you're like a hoodie person, I'm still gonna put the hoodies out there, but it's probably best to purchase a sweater. The sweaters were a lot more cheaper, and then the long sleeve shirts were even more cheaper, and then obviously the t-shirts were even more cheaper. So it's kind of like the more down you go, the cheaper it is. And I should have bought one as a sweater as well, but I only got the hoodie because I just really want to see the hoodie's fabric. But I think I kind of can tell how the sweater is gonna be. My Miss Pring, I got the right size because I don't think they even yeah, but oh, I cannot wait. That's been my main focus because I just been thinking about how I can, just make, some good ministry outfits for God and stuff like that, and or just some good outfits that can possibly, indirectly save people or encourage a Christian. But then also I can have some cool outfits where, it just looks nice. Like all my whole wardrobe is literally going to come from there. I swear it. At some point my whole wardrobe is going to be my own clothes. And I think that's just that's sick. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, or UFI, like what do we say with this? Is the newest of the two boot software offerings released in 2002 compared to BIOS. UFI, I don't know, man. UEFI has greater scalability, higher performance, better programmable. But my thing is, don't we still have use BIOS though? Because I feel like I've never heard of UFI. IT tech giants such as Intel, AMD, AMI, Leno, Microsoft have phased out BIOS or are in the process of doing so in favor of you. Oh, so eventually this is going to happen. Okay. So technically some of them do. Oh, so I probably have this then. I mean, I'm assuming. I'm not sure because I have a AMD. So I'm not sure. I have an AMD. I guess I would have to look. I don't know. So that's crazy. I wonder what the difference. Well, I mean, I guess this is the difference. It's right here. Can you please highlight? Just please highlight this. All right, there we go. Let's take a couple more notes. Oh, y'all can't really see. My fault. My fault. I wasn't really paying attention up there. But let me know if it looks a little bit better now that y'all can see the fact that I'm taking notes, so y'all know that I'm studying and stuff like that. Because I don't want y'all to think that I'm not studying. It's just I just be yapping. But I think honestly the best thing to do when we do study, because I don't really have like the greatest studying tips. I kind of study the same way that I would have studied if I was in school, where it's kind of like read something, write down what's important. I might write down all of it because maybe I don't understand certain things, so then I'll just like leave a question mark, right? Like come back to it later. I think a lot of my studying tips is just something that I've learned previously. And then sorry, damn, I just realized my face is all in the camera and I look wild then when I did that. Um, but yeah, so I don't think I really have too crazy of study tips. I think I'm just so I just take some notes, write it down, reread them if ever needed, especially when taking a quiz if I don't feel confident in something. But I probably wouldn't do it during a quiz. I just for some reason I just have good memory. I don't know what it is. I could just do this and kind of still understand even though I'm talking while taking notes. And then maybe when I get to the CompTIA A plus studying, that's probably where I'm gonna have to be a little bit more quieter. I'm gonna have to be like, hold up, because the difference is like if I'm on a quiz, right, and they're asking me about, and then you kind of have to remember too, like how certain quizzes ask questions, so you kind of know what to look for, and you can make the question in your head. So, for instance, like how I'm writing that UFI has greater scalability, high performance, better programmability. Now, if they asked you this question, like what's the difference between BIOS and UFI? Normally they're not expecting to see every single thing. So it's like you wouldn't need to remember everything. More than likely, the question would be framed as name one thing that is different from BIOS and UFI, right? Or something like that. And obviously, that question might not be on the quiz, but let's say if it was like on the quiz, that's how they would word it. So that's why in my head it's like when I'm studying, I kind of know that I don't need to know everything. All I need to know is that Yuffie is better than BIOS, and then just remember one to two things if they ever were to ask for examples, and then just move forward. So I feel like when you also like understand how some tests write questions, it makes it a little bit more easier. Like you could see the legit question as you're taking the note, and you're like, yeah, I could see where that would go. So it's just a lot more easier like that. I feel like I can kind of see it like two steps ahead of what they would ask if this was a question. And then I would just know how to answer it. And then also too, ChatGPT is really helpful as well because I mainly make me a quiz, but I would tell them to make it hard or whatever. Like I'll be like make this quiz like difficult, but also let's say like make them realistic. Like don't just make a random question that doesn't make sense. And so they would do that, and then I would do pretty good like when passing it and stuff like that. But ChatGPT definitely could be a good mentor. I don't use it often. I really only use it for quizzes, and if I had a better website for quizzes, I would definitely do that. Sometimes I feel like ChatGPT when they be doing A, B's, and C's, I feel like they be like making that a little bit too easy. Like they'll just put a random C and C just says something. Oh, the sky is blue. It's like this has nothing to do. This has nothing to do with tech. Like clearly it's not C then. Um, but no, yeah. So it's funny. But ChatGPT, it definitely helps me a little bit when it does come to studying. But I don't know. I just like old school studying. And then if I were to ever take like a quiz that's important, like if I was gonna do the CompTIA A plus, I would definitely do flashcards. Flashcards would be the wave because sometimes it's best to be able to answer the question without, seeing A, B, and C. But just cause if there is a A, B, and C, then you can kind of point it out because now you see the answer. Obviously, you can see the answer and then you can see what's wrong. But if there is no A, B, and C, then you're preparing yourself to be able to just get the answer at the same time, rather than feeling like you need to see everything else. And that's kind of my mindset. It's the same thing with math too. It's like you can't just keep relying on the fact that you're getting an A, B, and C because at some point you're going to get those questions where you have to solve it without being able to see the answer. Because, on a math quiz, if you see the answers there, all you got to do is really work backwards. You just work backwards and then you just get your answer every time. That's why a lot of math quizzes, yeah, some of the questions are like that, but the spot that be getting people or stumbling people is a spot where that's not there. Because it's hard for them to get the answer on their own. Or even sometimes, like, I'll do a math question, I'll be off by like two numbers. I'm like, clearly it's this one. Like, there's just no way. Be off by two numbers and then boom, I'm right. So, but that's just the way that I just try to study a little bit. And then also too, since everything's kind of on my own pace, in my head it's like if I'm not ready to move forward for the CompTIA A plus or to take that quiz, or I'm not confident, at least I know that there's plenty of practice quizzes out there and there's plenty of, just studying formats that you could do. But I think one of my things is I would just take the test, obviously after doing a lot of studying and quiz taking. But I would take the test a little bit more less stress free. Like I would be stress free. Cause in my head it's kind of like first quiz, I'm not gonna expect to pass on the first quiz. Not saying that I'm not gonna work hard enough to pass. I just wouldn't expect it because when you expect things and then it doesn't happen, it makes you really sad. So I feel like for me, I wouldn't expect it and I would kind of seek to like fail. Like I'll be like, okay, you're probably gonna fail, but at least take note in your head what these questions look like. You know what I mean? So now when I'm taking, study quizzes, I could be like, okay, this one's actually replicating more of what it is. Or I could be like, damn, there was a couple questions I didn't know and it happened to be about the hardware or something, right? And then I'm like, okay, let me look those things up. So that's gonna be my biggest mindset when it comes to taking that quiz is like don't expect to pass, but don't also like sit there and fail. Like if you could pass, pass. And stuff like that. So I heard like you can't upgrade BIOS unless it's in a new computer, is what it was saying earlier. So now this is specifically just about upgrading. So you already touched upon upgrading BIOS, but it's essential to call out a few points if you want to tackle this. So if you want to upgrade your BIOS, you can typically find the information files you need on either your computer or in its motherboard website. Upgrading your BIOS is a serious task, so back up all your system's data from its hard drive. And then on a related note, make sure you have a recovery jumper that allows you to recover original BIOS. I mean, I guess I could take a note of this. I don't think it's teaching me about BIOS though. I don't think it's teaching me about BIOS, but I mean, technically it's just teaching you how to upgrade it, but I feel like I don't really need to take a note of that unless that's what I'm doing. And it seems simple, so I'll just look that up if that ever came across. So what is BIOS versions of BIOS? You must access the BIOS setup if you want to see which type and version of your system you'll see the BIOS type and version displayed on the screen. So my thing is the way that they're talking about BIOS is as if it actually hasn't been replaced yet, but they made it seem like it was replaced, and now I'm just in a big confusion. You must access the BIOS setup if you want to see what type of BIOS it is. I mean, I guess I could write that, maybe for later. So like, oh wait, I could kind of pull this a little bit closer now. I need to have a better camera angle for these notes though, but I feel like the camera quality looks good because it's coming from my phone. It's just that for some reason, if I move too fast or if I put it on myself, it kind of glitches a lot. At least like if it's glitching, it's just glitching of my hand moving, and then the camera is so small that it's not really that deep, I feel like. So we're just gonna take this mini note, like must access the BIOS setup if you want to see. Oh y'all, and then also too today, I'm just gonna be giving y'all if y'all tune into my live streams, you already know what my next videos are gonna be because I always reveal it. And it's so funny because I try not to, but I just can't help it because it's like I want to talk and talk about it. But the next video that I got coming out, which if you've seen previously, I probably already told you, but I don't know why I'd be trying to act like everything's a secret. Give me a second. BIOS manufacturers. When BIOS first became popular, it was basically owned by IBM, thanks to the wonders of reverse engineering that soon became moot. I don't really care about that. So even though BIOS is being gradually phased out, very few bits of tech vanish entirely. Many legacy systems are still around today. Yeah, that's the thing too, is like many of these are around. So it's like BIOS will be there. And BIOS information will stay relevant until the last old system is scrapped. Therefore, staying familiar with this foundational firmware is a good idea. Oh, okay. Alright, so then I like that then. Master front end and back end. They have a full stack developer program. That is just crazy. Like, why did I never find any of these? Are they gonna make you pay? Oh, I was like 63 billion. I'm like, damn. Hold on, do they got a program for Damn, they don't got a program for IT? Oh, wait, they do. Wait, stop. You're gonna piss me off. So they got IT service and they have IT for foundation? What the hell does that mean? IT for specialists, create, deliver, and support. I don't know what the freak this is. ITL certification exam pass. Earn 22. I don't even know what this is for. What the hell is ITL? 30 quizzes, 4 mock tests, 15 ITL AI, talk to an advisor. This is a real school. Yeah, they thought. Money hungry. Oh, let me stop actually, because what if they sponsored me one day? And that's what I said. Damn, that would never happen. It would never happen. Okay, what was my next thing that I was looking forward to? I completely forgot, because we just finished BIOS basically, and then we got to do. Let me look at my notes. We have one more thing, and then we could finally finish module 3. Oh yeah, I want to look up the compatibility. Compatibility. Might have spelled that wrong. It's okay. Compatibility, and then we got to go socket types. Excuse me. Let's start with socket type, because when you try to put everything together, it'd be doing too much. So socket compatibility depends on the type of wait, are we talking about the CPU? Well, it doesn't really say CPU, but I guess that's what we're getting into. So we got the CPU sockets, we got electrical sockets, and then we got oh wait, that's it. So what is the meaning of CPU sockets? We could probably start here. A guide to motherboard sockets. You know what I just realized? I just been wasting so much time now that I'm thinking about it. You know how I'm going to be ultimately. Oh, I could do this. Oh, it's Quizlet. You know how I'm gonna ultimately be verifying that I'm human. What the hell? What they do? Did they just scan me? But y'all know how I plan on eventually trying to make courses for IT support. I just realized that all these websites that I'm learning from and that I'm actually getting information from, I should have put this like in a document for later, so that when I start making these courses, I could be like, this website teaches this website teaches this. So I mean, I guess I didn't really get that far, and I could just check my history and then find all the websites, but damn, I should have been doing that. That would have been great. So right now we're learning about CPU sockets. Let me see, do they have any of the other socket? Oh, that's it. That's all this is. Do they get paid for websites like this? Because sometimes, like, I think about this when I sleep, and I'm like, I could legitimately make this website. Like, I know we ain't talking about code no more. We ain't talking about coding, but I could legitimately make this website. Like, are you telling me I can get an income if I did something like this? Come on now. Okay, let's get back to the CPU sockets. So CPU sockets are connectors to the motherboard. The socket type determines the compatibility with the CPU as the motherboard as different socket types. It's essential to ensure that your CPU has compatible okay, so tell me what it is. Refers to the types of CPU that okay, motherboards have specific socket types. Thank you for what, but what are they? Which CPUs can be installed? For example, there we go. Intel's LGA socket type, 11th generation, AMD's, AM4, AMD Ryzen processors. Oh, I must have this one then, because I have AMD Ryzen. The CPU socket support is an important factor to consider when choosing a motherboard. It's essential to correct. Okay, this isn't where we're going. I mean, I guess it did say what is the meaning. I think I'm not even gonna lie. If we can try this one, if this one doesn't work out, we might have to go a different way. I mean, this one. Oh. Yeah, y'all, we're gonna have to do the AI overview. I'm not even gonna hold you. Or we could look at this. I think this is where they got it from. CPU processing system. CPUs have two main sockets. Oh, yeah, I guess this is where they got it from. I could take a little bit from here. No, I think I'm gonna just strictly go to what the AI part says. I think they got it right. They did the work for me. Sometimes I don't like to go through what the AI says. Not that there's anything wrong with what they say, but I like to find my own information sometimes because, obviously if I'm sitting here and I want to make this website for people, I would love to be able to, if I'm trying to teach people about IT ever in the future, I would love to be able to just directly send them to a specific spot. But I guess that's not the case. Guess that's not the case. By the way, if you are new here, man, make sure you end up joining this journey. I will be documenting every single day of me learning IT support. And I'm trying to debate, debating on if I should post a video every day. But I think every other day gives me a lot more time to think of a good idea, to then edit it and make sure the cuts are nice. But I haven't even been as consistent as doing that. But I just think it's because, with the web dev content, I'm just so ready to kind of, just legitimately pivot away from it that I feel like because I'm ready to, pivot, I'm kind of not as interested anymore to film those type of videos. So it took me a minute to do this video that I finally filmed. So I got to go and edit it, which is me finishing my barbershop website series, finishing that one, and then I practically have one more that is going to end the series, which is me getting my first paying client. And then after that, it's another video that's going to probably be like the transition or, a new chapter and then completely pivoting my content. And I just feel like when I finally get to that type of content, I think that's when I'm going to feel so much more better. Because it's like I've just been so ready to pivot. Like, I remember just doing so much of web dev and enjoying it and liking it. And just now it's about that time, man. So CPU sockets must be compatible. Let me see. CPU sockets must be physically compatible with the motherboard and CPU type. Is not compatible. Okay, so that's not, they gave us an example. So what we're gonna do is, I guess, take this part of the note, which is what they said kind of on both websites, is that they need to be compatible, but I'm assuming, I kind of already assumed that. I think that it comes down to like almost every wire for the computers that it's like something gotta work with the other. If it don't work, then you're screwed. I cannot wait to end up building PCs, or not even build PCs, but take apart PCs, because then it's gonna really, show me physically that I'm learning, and to be able to point out the CPU, the GPU, the power supply, the RAM, like that's gonna be so amazing to be able to do. And then eventually, to install and just do a bunch of random stuff. I think that's gonna be super sick. So it is not compatible with LGA. So not compatible with LGA as my example, so that's nice. Electrical socket compatibility depends on the voltage of the amperage in the plug in the region. So I guess we could do that too, because I guess we're also getting into, well, I don't know if they want me to talk about the electrical socket. I'm not even sure if this is about a computer anymore, but they kept them both here, so maybe it is. But I do gotta get off. Not now. I have still about 30 minutes left. But as you can see, I always have like an hour all the time. I don't know what it is. Every single time, there's just always something to do. That's the one thing, like I always tell people, if you don't have to take on responsibilities, it's not that having responsibilities suck, because I actually enjoy it. But if you're someone who doesn't have to, don't do it. Obviously, stay responsible at home, and you can still clean, help your parents around. But if they're in your life, man, definitely like be ecstatic and just keep doing your thing, keep studying, keep learning. Cause even if you get a career and they still allow you to like stay with them, then that's even better. Cause once you take on that responsibility of like bills and even grocery shop, like I thought at some point, the more I shopped, that it was gonna get easier. I was like, like the more we go shopping, the more easier things would be. And then I learned how quickly I just hate shopping and I hate doing laundry. But it's like, you got to get it done, especially when you need clothes, especially when you need some food. Like, and then it's like a non negotiable. But then I'm also realizing too that for me, it could really be the fact that I work night shift. Because, well, I don't work night shift, but I work technically into the night. So I feel like that can kind of have me feeling tired because for some people if you went to work early in the morning, let's say you go to work 7 to 3 and then you get out at 3, it's a lot more easier to do things in the day because you just got out of work and then now you still have about a couple like maybe 5-6 hours left before it's time for you to go to bed or something, and that feels just a lot more better. But when your schedule is not a 7 to 3, when it is not a 7 to 3, everything is a drain because by the time I got to work it's nighttime. And obviously, people who wake up in the morning, they don't go to sleep right after work, they stay awake. So I'm gonna naturally want to stay awake when I get out of work, but it's like 3 in the morning. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn. 3, 4 in the morning, and then I'll probably stay up until like 5. And it just gets crazy. Like working nights, or technically working nights, is like the one of the most difficult things because then if you really want to do something and you're like, damn, I need to do something by 10, it's like impossible for you to fall asleep and wake up for 10. It's like you have to just stay awake. And that's like the worst thing by not working a morning shift. So maybe that could be why I'd be so drained to like do anything. Maybe if I was working mornings, I would not feel this way at all. But I do plan on trying to get a morning shift. But the only thing is like specifically at my job, morning shifts are way worse than nights. Mornings is way more physical and you're dealing with way more people who are way more miserable, and then that kind of becomes a thing. So it's either you go to mornings for a better life, but people are going to be bothering you and you're probably going to have a terrible work day, but at least you get to live your life. Or you stay on nights where you have a good work day, but then you kind of lose your life. So it's kind of like, ah. But I also can't even really go to mornings like that because it takes I don't really want to describe too much about how the job works, but it takes a lot of like, you need to have worked there for a while before you can move to mornings. So I probably wouldn't even be able to get it when I would want to anyway. So it's kind of crappy. But you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. But it's so funny though because it really is like always work for me. Because I actually hear that a lot too in my regular life. That like, oh, it's always work. But I really think it really comes down to the fact that I work like in the afternoon. Like it's one of the worst things ever because everybody's just getting out of work and then they're like, okay, let's go hang out, like guys, like everyone's getting out of work, let's go spend time together as a family. And I'm like, and then we have to go, oh no, we got to go to work. You know what I mean? So it seems like we're like workaholics, but it's like no, it's just we just don't work the same shifts as everybody else. So it really is just like work, work, work. And then by the time we could finally do errands, we have to do them on our days off, which is why for me today is my day off, which is why I was able to stream at this time. But I can't stream past this time because I have so much damn errands I got to get done today. So it's a crappy schedule, but I kind of enjoy it. I feel like I like my day being filled with things. But I know the moment I land a morning shift and then I could finally be more freer and be with more family and just do errands during the week and not having to just be on my day off because of, my hours is amazing. You said, how old are you? I'm 22 years old. 22 years old and sadly had to grow up a little. Sadly had to grow up a little faster than other people had to. And hey, I mean, I feel like I love the fact that I did have to grow up now because I think if I didn't have to and I had to wait until I was like 25 or something, like how a bunch of people are gonna have to wait until then, like it's gonna be a shocker for those people. Like when they step foot into the real world, no matter if they have a good job or not, it's gonna be a shocker. Like if you look at, the percentage of people who even make 100K a year, 60% of them still live paycheck to paycheck. And a lot of it isn't because 100K a year isn't that much. It's because these people don't know how to manage that type of money. But it's because, most of the time, they probably were chilling with their parents, having certain things paid for, not understanding how much of money it really is going to take. So it's kind of, says when you're at work, do you get ideas for projects? Well, I don't really do projects. I think when it comes to IT support, I think I probably might, I get ideas for like my YouTube videos, but I don't think I get ideas for, no projects because um, I don't really do IT support projects as of yet. I probably have some ideas that I would like to do, but I don't think there's really too much that you can think of and be like, oh yeah, this is a project that I want to do when I'm at work. But no, yeah. So, and then on top of that, not a lot of people are gonna hit 100K yearly in pay. So, if there's people who hit 100K yearly and 60% of them still live paycheck to paycheck, then anybody who's making less than that should be a little bit worried. And it's really because, like I said, it's just bad budgeting. And I think when you get the experience of life and if you have a good mindset and you understand, like, not everything I want needs to be purchased, not everything I want, like, legitimately that's like a mindset people need to live by. Like, not everything you want needs to be bought. Like, you can want some things and you can let it go. Like, if you can't afford it, it's okay. I've seen too many people in my life who make purchases that just they cannot afford, but it looks nice. Oh yeah, it looks nice, but it's not nice for real when you really get to know them. And that's why, it's scary for some people. Like when you hop out into the real world and you're realizing you're only gonna probably max out at like 70, 80K a year. And there's people who make more than you that are still struggling. It's scary. But budgeting is key. And that's why I always tell people, like, learn how to budget young. Like if I had children, I would teach them to budget young. Because I know too many people, as in like friends wise or just in real life, that lack the ability to budget. And they could make good money, but because they lack the ability to budget, yeah, when shit hits the fan, they're not prepared for it. They can't afford it. Oh, they messed up their credit now. Now they got to fix their credit. Like now, you start throwing yourself into a hole because you didn't learn about finances and you didn't learn about budgeting. You didn't learn about not just stop buying shit that you don't need. So life can get tough. So that's why part of me is happy that I had to experience it, a little bit more earlier on. But it just builds you. It builds character, it builds you, it allows you to not be someone and you have to like figure it out later in life because then you kind of screw yourself. But that's why for me, like I never could sit here and look at somebody and be jealous of it or anything because you like just some people don't have a lot of people don't have the life that they portray. A lot of people don't. Like it's a facade and or they're using other people's money. Like I remember I used to know this person who he would legitimately ask people for money so that he could specifically go on vacations. So now he's sitting here posting it on whatever social media. And it's like the week before you asked us all for stuff. Crazy. It really be crazy. But yeah, that's that's why we just gotta learn that super young. Super young. Like when for me, whenever I get my paychecks, it doesn't even matter about how much I get, because let's say I'm doing overtime or something. It don't matter about how much I get. I never purchase something I don't need. I don't purchase something I won't use. And if I do want to spoil myself a little bit, it's always a little. Like I just never do any like I barely buy video games because I barely play anyway. But even if I played, I wouldn't even be going crazy buying it because it's not something that I need. I just do it for fun, but I don't need it. And so that's really what my mindset is. Like in the end, what needs to be paid first is that car, rent, groceries, any like Wi-Fi, all that stuff needs to get paid first. Essentials need to be paid first. After all of that gets minused from my check, then I have leftover money and I still won't spend it. I still won't spend it. I either save it or I will probably spend it on like food. That's like one of my biggest purchases though, is food. But I gotta stop. I gotta stop. But that's always how I move. Like you should never be purchasing everything that you want. Like I don't know what people, because there's even some people who think truly that they should be able to buy everything that they want. I'm like, for one, we don't deserve nothing in this world. So it's like not really. Like like if you want to get the things that you want, then yes, you got to work hard for it, but don't say it like you deserve it. Like we don't deserve it. Like, I was listening to this dude who was making a video. He was like, we deserve to get, whatever we want, and then I'm striving away at my job and I can't afford to buy this, buy that. I'm like, as long as you could put a roof over your head, have some food to eat, and, you know, have, yeah, pretty much just a roof over your head and food to eat, you're good. Like, you can grind for more, yes, but at that point, now you just sound like you're complaining and you're being ungrateful for what you have. So, I don't know. It's really just a mindset, though. And I don't even remember how I kind of learned this mindset. I just know that after school was done, I was kind of focused on like trying to just better myself. And I just felt like, getting a job and actually having money in my pocket was bettering myself. And then getting an apartment was bettering myself. And that's kind of just how I saw things. But, some people, they don't run into that until later. And it sucks because it's going to hit them. It's going to hit them hard. And I try to teach people. But the people that, of course, that act like that, they don't want to learn. I try to tell people because even another thing too is I noticed that like kids, we love children, right? But kids can really be a money drainer. And so in my head, I truly believe if you are going to have children, you need to be prepared financially. Don't sit there and bring children into this life, into a life of struggle. Like, I feel like you should want them to live a life that would be better than the life you're currently living. So it's like, try to get your stuff together. You know what I mean? Make sure that you are able to afford it. And the thing is that a lot of these people, they were good budgeters. They could eventually afford it. But then what they start doing is they start having children and then use that as the reason why they can't do it. And I'm like, well, in reality, it probably is now. Now, yeah, you can't do it because you had children. But you didn't have to, like, you could have waited. You could have waited. You could have made sure you had your money up, your life was together. What was your excuse before the children? Like, that's like always my answer. It's like, so why didn't you get it before then? But it's because a lot of people are just childish, man. And they don't try to pursue those things and they pursue the image of wanting kids and not really understanding what comes with that. And then now you got kids living in the struggle that they shouldn't be, that they didn't have to. But it's about straight up, I feel like a lot of it is selfishness. We're not all good humans. We're all gonna make terrible decisions. But I'm just somebody who's big on just take accountability. But not a lot of people like to do that. They like to blame, especially, when things feel so against them. When they can't get out of life, when they climb, it's always a blame game. No, it was this person, it's that person, this person is that person. In the end, it will always be yourself because you could have chose to not listen to that person. You could have chose to not be around that person. Like, I don't know. Too many people with blame game. And when I learned that in school, the blame game, I think I don't know why, but it was my health teacher. She was trying to teach us how, like, who takes responsibility for things. And every time she would do it, she was like, it always starts with yourself. And she would have some outrageous situations. And then she'll be like, but you see how that started with yourself. And that, like, I'm like, yo, they needed to teach this shit to everybody. Because, man, people can't take accountability. But ever since I learned that, I always knew that if something, like, happened to me, depending on, obviously, like, let's say I'm just in the wrong place, wrong time, in the end, it still would be my fault first, because I put myself there. You know what I mean? And then it falls onto other people. It wasn't like she was like, it's just your fault. No, she would explain where you could take accountability. And I feel like that helps a lot with relationships in real life, like with your friends, your family, when you're able to see where you went wrong and how you could take accountability for it first. It changes the whole conversation. It changes the whole conversation, but people don't have time for that. They want to argue. They want to argue with people. All right, so we got that complete. So that's good. That means we got the compatibility of the sockets and we got a lot of the BIOS down as well. So then that's really great. So now we basically finished module 3 and we are going to be hopping to module 4 tomorrow. That was actually quick. I mean, there's still a couple more things in module 3, but I think I'm gonna have to do that by myself because they want me to watch a step-by-step build where people are connecting the wires or the wiring, but I obviously can't show you guys that content on YouTube because then YouTube will legitimately sit there and they will copyright my content or copyright my video. So it's probably best for me just to do that part off camera. Hopefully I could do that today. I'm not too sure how things are gonna go down today. Praying for it though, because I think that would be super nice if I was able to do that with y'all. I mean, well, not with y'all, but with basically off camera and then be able to bring something new to y'all later. So I got to do that. Oh, they did ask for the BIOS overview. They wanted me to look at the post process and the boot order. So I guess I could probably do that later because I don't think I forgot to, yeah, I forgot to look up the post and the boot order too. I was wondering what they wanted me to know. Or wait, or did I? BIOS, post, boot order. No, yeah. I think that's probably what I need to do. So I'm almost done. I think I completely forgot about that. Oh, and then I'm forgetting too. My bad. Hold on. We are not done with module 3. I'm jumping ahead of myself. So, yes, I still need to watch the video of the step-by-step cable management. And I also need to watch the video of the step-by-step building process, right? But then for the compatibility, I still need to get into the RAM generation and then the power supply wattage and that compatibility with other things. I think I already did the power supply wattage part, but we'll see. And then the BIOS overview, like I said, the post process, the boot order. So we're still a little bit in module 3. I thought we finished. I was like, damn. But at least there's not too much to get into. It's only because I study for an hour a day that I can't really like get through these things like back to back to back. But I feel like a lot of this could already be done rather quickly if I could just get it together. But hopefully I could do a lot of it today. Who knows? Because I know I still got to eat. I believe I got to do laundry, and then I got to spend some time with family. So maybe when I'm with family, I could probably pull out the laptop. We're inside of there, try to get something done. But thank you for tuning into the stream. Love y'all. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are super goated. I'm glad to have had some of the conversations that we had today and the stuff that I was just talking about. If you are new here, make sure you end up hitting that subscribe button. I will be documenting my entire journey of learning how to code. I mean, whoa, I'm so used to that. Of learning IT support. And tonight, my barbershop episode should be released at 8 p.m. EST. So definitely go and tune into that as well. And yeah, deuces. Love y'all. Y'all are amazing.